Hello and welcome to episode 104 of Ring Takes here. We are bringing out our Backlash Fallout from PLE this past weekend. Of course, always joined by Brian and Lewis. I'm Daniel. And we're here after Backlash of PLE. I'll bring up the picks right now since we have a sweep here. Lewis does his best impression of knowing he has sources, people. I'm convinced now. He's 5-0. At Backlash, I was on the limb there, 3-2, and Brian went 4-1. But let's get into our review of Backlash here. John Cena retains his undisputed title against Randy Orton, and dubbed the last time, which was definitely should have been the last time. What do you guys make of this match? What do you guys make of this matchup?
All right, come on.
He just took the words out of my mouth.
Okay, I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect for John Cena and Randy Orton because I also informed you guys last week that going into this match that if you were expecting a 5-star classic that you weren't gonna get it. You were gonna get it.
Expecting a 5-star classic.
Yeah.
I even liked some of the stuff at the end because it just got so convoluted. Yeah, but I was just like, this was a WCW main event from 1999, 2000.
that was the only thing. Yeah, but that was the only excessive thing about it. Was just all the
overbooking.
Everybody in the end. I mean, that was the only excessive part about it. I mean,
every part of the match that I didn't like, but I'll let you guys go.
but everything that happened before the ref bumps, I mean, everything was just pretty much what you would expect from these two guys, because they're at the age right now where everything was going to be slow and methodical. You got everybody's signature stuff, which is kind of what the fans were expecting or anticipating with these two wrestling. I will say, yeah, WCW probably is the best comparison for it, because it did get.
It was Hogan versus Ric Flair.
I mean, realistically,
more athleticism.
Realistically,
a little bit more athleticism.
Yeah, because realistically, after the second ref bump, when they had Nick Aldis and all of the agents and producers come out, that's when things really got.
That was a little excessive.
I mean, just to give Randy Orton an RKO spot where he takes out everybody. I mean,
first of all, that should have been a disqualification. If you're Nick Aldis, you should hate Randy Orton right now, which they've kind of been alluding to that ever he did it last year, right? When he gave him the fine and stuff like that, and he said he's going to pay for the next one. Well, that should be the follow-up story. But it's like, I don't know.
Nick Aldis has been taking a lot of hits lately, which is like, to me, are we getting hints of him coming back to the ring?
He's got to get in. I think there's a liberty there with him able to take the bumps that they're taking, because it's not like it's a Teddy Long or a Vince at this stage or a Triple H or something like that. I think having Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis in those roles, they can take bumps because they actually were wrestlers and stuff like that. So I think that helps. But if he does come back in the ring, I'm for
it. He didn't retire in ring. He just came back in this role, right?
Yeah, exactly. So. I mean, I actually initially thought when he came back as general manager that they were just using that role to kind of
for a little bit
actually push him back into wrestling again, and that this was just so the fans and everyone could get used to him, because I know he had the run in TNA and the run in NWA, but other than that, fans really didn't know who he was. But now he's like a sympathetic character now, so realistically, they can put him in the ring right now. And then, like I said, SummerSlam attraction match with Randy Orton. That's something I would enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
But perfect. But WCW is the perfect comparison. They didn't need to bring everybody out after the second referee bump. Like I'm still trying to understand what the whole point of that was. Like I say, are you just trying?
It was just a spot for Randy. It was just
I think
St. Louis, like
basically, but.
It was basically trying to make Randy Orton look strong.
Yeah,
and throwing all these obstacles in his way that couldn't be a faction behind John Cena. It has to be all these executives and referees. And
I was really curious to see how they were gonna go about this match, because I mean, we all kind of knew Randy was gonna win, and honestly, I felt like this just because of their rivalry. I feel like you could have saved this for honestly one of his last matches. You know, because this is literally his the Shawn to the Bret to the Stone Cold to the Rock, like Cena Randy is definitely that like top main feud, and I felt like to use it as his first defense after. I mean, I get it, maybe with the whole booking in St. Louis and everything, but it's like I felt like this match should have been held off, and it could have been built up way more.
I think the combination of it being in St. Louis and on top of that, the fact that it was the first title defense, which I think I alluded to last week. They're always hard to book. And I know you probably could have went with somebody else, but just the fact that it was in St. Louis and Randy Orton is always a viable contender, regardless if he's lost like 2 or 3 matches beforehand, he's still Randy Orton. I just think that the combination of that was pretty much too much to pass up. And I think with this retirement tour, they're going to go through all of his greatest hits. He's definitely going to have a match with CM Punk. He's probably going to have a match with like a Rey Mysterio or somebody, assuming they come back from injury. He's definitely going to have a match with Miz. And
no, they can't do that. They can't.
Oh, actually, scratch that. Yeah, he's a heel. Never mind. They're not going to have that.
No.
I mean, hey, we also got to talk about this damn Cena heel at this point. It's like, I honestly think they need to like just scrap this at this point because.
Well, we already know why it's not hitting the way it should.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all one person's fault.
This motherfucker right here is the reason why it's not hitting the way it's fucking hitting.
I mean,
this could have been a greater story, and because of all these, Rock not following through and not. My thing is just like. And again, I don't get what the preparation going into this was. It's like, okay, you're gonna be heel, but these seeds we planted, we're not gonna follow through. We'll just kind of wing it. And that's honestly what it kind of feels like right now. It feels like they're winging it. I haven't liked this whole like him against the crowd relationship crap. It just it feels lazy and not lazy. Like it just. It's not hitting for me, I guess. It's just not really like for me. If the whole Rock thing could have been a great story, they're cut from the same cloth now. They're working together. He's top guy, and all this and that. There was so much story to be told there, and none of that's happening. It's just I'm Cena and. I'm their last real champion, and
Triple H
I'm gonna ruin wrestling, which I haven't liked that line since he said it, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
The issue is all the fundamentals of a heel are not there.
Exactly.
If Rock was with him, it would have been sense. If he had lackeys, it would have made sense. There's no lackeys. There's no story. And it's just him going after the crowd. It's like that's not what we want to see from a heel John Cena. We should be seeing a vindictive John Cena screwing over baby faces, screwing over people. That's what it should be. And it's like every buildup that we've had, he's facing Cody Rhodes, he gets knocked down. He's facing Randy Orton. Randy Orton landed like 3 RKOs leading up to the match. And it's like that's not what we should be seeing from a heel John Cena. We shouldn't. That's not what we should be saying.
And also on top of that, the main force for the heel turn, that relationship hasn't even been explained yet. I mean, they reference Rock during the Cody Rhodes build once or twice, but they haven't explained the nature of the relationship. And that little cut sign that he did says actions speak louder than words. I mean, that means a lot. That hasn't been explained yet. So it's just like
literally a hit symbol, and you're like, yeah, we're not going to talk about that ever.
Just a one-time thing. Don't worry about it, guys. Ignore that. Ignore all that stuff that we told you.
I don't want to take away the moment from John Cena. He's strong. We need to focus on him being a heel. We don't need to take away. We don't even have the reason for it, motherfucker. So what do you mean just focus on him?
I just don't understand. And now they're doing this whole thing with R-Truth, which I'm like,
I kind of like.
I told y'all that was going to happen. I told you there was going to be something with R-Truth. Now, I was expecting. Now, obviously, we got what we got at the press conference, but I was expecting a beatdown. But he's actually getting a title match out of this. It looks like.
Hey, and you know what? I'm all for it because I'm somebody that, when Truth had his whole spiel with Cena at that point, they probably could have. I mean, obviously the
Booked him
time
better?
and whatever. You actually probably could have done some real good stuff with R-Truth, and
I mean, they did. They had
they
a couple.
did. When he was a
months
heel,
run.
I liked it, but then he leaned to the little Jimmy's thing a little too much, and they kind of just
they paired
went off the cliff with all that, and then it was just like, okay, this man its course, like
yeah. Yeah, but what if they use this to temporarily knock R-Truth out of the whole comedy gimmick, and he goes back to being serious just for this one match?
Love it. I would
just
love
for this one match, because it makes sense. This would be a perfect reason for him to stop with the comedy bullshit, being a national treasure, and go back to that R-Truth from 2011. That was a very good heel. That would be. I'll be perfect if we could just go back to that attitude just for this match.
They pull a full Vince story, like he got a concussion, but now he's refocused and he's.
Or if he comes out all these years, I've been the way I've been because I looked up to John Cena, but now.
As long as he doesn't pull out a cigarette.
He'll take the fine though. Well, he didn't pay for it apparently. So
that was funny. That whole thing.
It was. It
was funny.
But my whole thing about the match was, I was like, how many? There's going to be an issue with this PLE that I talk about, but it's just like all the false finishes. I'm like, what's a finisher anymore? What's a finisher? What is the point of a finisher?
And like I said in the chat, like I said, that's actually like a whole wrestling argument that you can make. Professional wrestling in general has moved in that direction where having one finish isn't enough anymore for some of these matches.
I mean, I'm fine if it's not one finish. If it's two finishes, okay, cool. But when it gets to 3, in 4, in 5. It's like, what is this move? Should not beat anybody. It's like a super kick at this point.
Okay, well, I will say this much. If it gets to 3, then for your next match, that move needs to be a transition spot now. It shouldn't even be.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree. But if somebody kicks out of your finish 3 times in one match, then that move needs to be a transition move. Like,
I'm fine with that. I'm even fine with that. Save it for SummerSlam. Save it for WrestleMania. Save it for the end of a feud that is like, I just don't like all this stuff. Like, what is the point of a finisher?
I guess I think they mostly used it for the sake of the match and all the crap that they threw in it. They're like, hit him with the RKO. Oh no, there's no ref. Oh, there's all this.
I understand that.
Another one, hit him in an RKO. Oh, again, there's no ref. Oh, this person got knocked out. It's like, it's all more so to create all this false
finishes
bullshit that's messing up everything in the match. And then it's like, nope, until
but my issue with that,
until I hit it and actually matters. That's
even in the next match that we're about to talk about in a minute. It's like, then I don't want to see in a week or 2 this person just get knocked out by one finisher and get pinned 1, 2, 3. I don't ever want to see that again for that character if they're kicking out.
They're not laid out for like half an hour, Dan. It's like literally like a minute or 2.
I can't. I just don't like it. I don't like
it. It just beats the logic, I guess, for you, which I understand. Because we grew up on.
I thought it was going to be, but then it started picking up, and I'm like, these false finishes, I'm like, we don't need them. Like, he kicked out of like 4 AAs, 5 RKOs.
I mean, it pretty much was the second match that Rock and Cena had at that WrestleMania that one year. Their second match with the titles on the line. I mean, pretty much was which move is going to win. Which move is going to win first? Is going to be the rock bottom of the AA. I mean, I think they hit each other with like 3 or 4 of them within that same match. Yeah, I mean.
I just don't. WWE just tone it down a little bit.
But you gotta remember, it is John Cena and Randy Orton in this current era of wrestling, trying to fit like what modern wrestling is, which is now
do a suplex off the top rope or something. Like, use that as a.
I'm not gonna lie, I really did want to see a Randy Orton punt. I'm like, I just want to see one.
Yeah.
You did it in the past. We can do it one more time.
He's teasing it. So somebody's got to be able to take it. Somebody's going to take it. Maybe it's Nick Aldis.
But again, I mean, I just feel like this rivalry, this I don't know. For me personally, just because I know, we were probably in the era where we got sick of seeing John Cena and Randy Orton go after each other, but
We
it
were.
was still a feud that obviously was still
Even when they
great, and they
went,
had great clashes. But I honestly felt like this should have been saved for
even
later
when they
on.
went for the ladder match for the undisputed title at TLC, what was that, 2016 or so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
matter of fact, I think it's even before then, like maybe
14.
maybe 14 or 15.
And
But
it was
yeah,
just like, what the hell? They're doing
that's
it
what I
again?
was saying. Like when they were going through the history of their matches, there was a couple of matches in there that I forgot. Like I forgot about the submission match at Breaking Point. Like I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Was it him? Was he facing him when he broke his collarbone and shit like that?
Oh, Randy?
Randy?
Nah, that was I remember that.
Triple
That
H?
was against Triple H when he broke his
Yeah.
collarbone. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, because
okay.
I remember that match was mad quick, and Triple H just hit him with a sledgehammer, and the match was over. And I'm like, "Tell me, what happened? Why is the match? Why is this? It's a last man standing match. Why is it ending now?"
Yeah, that was wild. But it's just, I don't know. But yeah, this John Cena thing is just not hitting as a heel. It's not hitting because it's like we're not getting your relationship with The Rock. We're not getting. I mean, we can kind of. I've been talking about it. We can kind of blame Triple H. Triple H was the one that said he convinced him to turn heel. Just saying.
Yeah. At this point, I'd rather just give me go back and
just give Cody Rhodes back.
Yeah, that's what.
Just give Cody the title back so we can.
Don't give it to Cody. I'm fine with him being champ. I'm just saying, honestly, just be a babyface now. This just isn't what we all wanted at this point. At least for me.
He's ruining wrestling for us, Lewis. He's completing his objective.
Well, hey, maybe he's actually doing what he's saying he's doing, I guess. I don't know. With that whole line, like, I'm gonna ruin wrestling, and it's like, why? It just
because he's in an abusive relationship, Lewis.
Yeah, because he's been in an abusive relationship for a number of years. So he wants to stick it to them for 25 years of booing him when they should have been cheering him and so forth.
Again, this would have been better if he had lackeys. This would have been better. But
who would have
A-Town down?
His lackeys have been
A-Town down.
He had a lackey. That lackey just happened to be a hip hop artist.
That never should have been there.
Oh my God, I forgot. It's cool. I forgot. Could have used the Creed brothers. Could have used the Street Profits. Somebody, anybody. But shit. Yeah, that was John Cena one. Let's continue to move on here. With Lyra Valkyria's shocking victory over Becky Lynch. I did not see this coming. Lewis, you did. I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it was solid.
Yeah.
But I did not expect this was another match where they were kicking out of finishers, but I didn't expect Lyra to win. I thought Becky was going to win this one hands down.
Just because this was so recent, but I don't know. There's something about Lyra she's been showcasing hard, and she's been. I don't know.
Are you willing to say that she's been better?
I feel it every time she has a match. Like, she goes all out. She gets technical. She gets dirty.
Are you willing to say that she's been better booked than Tiffany Stratton?
Yes, honestly. Yeah. But I don't. But see, my thing is, I don't know. Okay, but there's two sides to that. Does Tiff? I don't know. I guess you can't. But like, I don't know. I know her character, like the whole wing thing. I don't know if it's doing the best work for her. Reminds me of the birds from Power Rangers, like
feathers. Yes, the mystic feathers. Yes,
yeah, exactly. I mean, her intro music is great.
Mm-hmm.
I get her in-ring style.
A few WWE music people that they got right.
very, very few that have been good. But yeah, in-ring wise, she's showcasing. I don't know. Maybe it's her in-ring ability. Not saying that Tiffany doesn't, but I don't know. Just the way she moves and carries herself in the ring, it's like it's not always the same. I guess like she doesn't use the same moveset. She actually switches it up. I feel like every time she has a big match.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like, I don't know. I didn't see Becky getting a win so early. Yeah, maybe she could have pulled some heel tactics and got the belt, but I feel like Lyra's in a good spot where she kind of needs the belt right now. So that's what I felt.
All right. So every superstar that comes up from NXT when they come to the main roster and fans are trying to like decide whether to get behind somebody or not, they all have to have like that one match or that one moment where like they've arrived. And I think this match was the official arrival of Lyra Valkyria. I know, Daniel, you talked about like the number of finishes. I think what Becky hit, like what two or three manhandle slams that Lyra kicked out of. And this, I figure in this is one of the very rare cases where I think if the goal was to have Lyra be viewed as a top contender moving forward and trying to make Lyra look strong. If that was the goal, then that's probably the one case where like I can let that go in that case. But like you said, as far as consistency goes, moving forward, now it depends who Becky is matched up with now, because if she faces Bayley and beats Bayley with one manhandle slam, then that's where the confusion and the lack of consistency.
Then Bayley's going to be a jobber. She should be sent down to Velocity.
So I understand
Velocity.
I understand that part of it, but I don't think that will be an issue moving forward. But like Daniel said,
don't send her to Sunday Night Heat. Come on,
just send her down. Send her down.
Been demoted. Yeah, but the match itself was very good. I think Lyra may have a broken nose because definitely noticed her grabbing it when she got the pin at the end. And also, she wasn't on a Raw on Monday either, so Becky had to go out and cut that promo.
Now she can come out with the mask and the wings and put the whole
Cody Rhodes mask.
Y'all know, but can you picture how vicious, how more aggressive and vicious she would look though if she comes out with a mask like that?
Might be a good thing.
Hey!
Rhea did it. Rhea did it at War Games.
Nia Jax broke Becky Lynch's nose to start her reign. Maybe this is the way that Becky gives back.
There we go.
Re-break the nose.
Is that what just makes people now? You got to break their noses.
A little blood. No, I thought this match was pretty good for the most part. I don't like all the false finishes. Now I do. I think that this would have been good if Becky would have won, and then they have a match down the line where Lyra kicks out of 3 manhandle slams to win the title. I'm cool with that. That's what I would have wanted. But I thought this match was pretty good, man. I thought it was good top to bottom. Lyra's great in the ring. Becky's looking solid. And it's just like, kudos to Lyra. The post-match beatdown was good as well. I thought that was a good look. Like, keep the heat on Becky while she continues going forward, because now Lyra's, 2-0 against her? Yeah. So that's why I didn't think that was going to happen. So for her to actually get the win is good for Lyra going forward. We'll see what they do going forward with that feud. Now let's keep moving on to Pat McAfee is a main eventer now.
Oh, I can't wait.
Is he?
I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Why is he not? Explain to me why he's not. He just won 20 minutes with Gunther.
I knew you were going to make
Walter. He did one backflip.
Walter.
And
20 minutes.
And am I missing something? Brian, am I missing something?
This is
no, you're not missing anything at all. Matter of fact, Dan, won't you go ahead and
let's let Dan explain the reason why he picked Pat McAfee to beat Gunther in this match.
No, because as a matter of fact, Lewis, just a disclosure. Now, late Saturday night into Sunday morning, after Dan finished watching it, he said he was going to have some thoughts in regards to this match. So, do you need a solo shot? Do you need a couple minutes to yourself? Do you need anything?
Do I need a solo?
Do you need a solo to talk about this match?
No, yeah, let's go to a solo shot.
you want to need a solo to talk about this match?
Pat McAfee is a ring announcer. Let alone.
So is Wade Barrett.
Let alone a former NFL punter. not a defensive lineman, not a linebacker, a punter. Is he athletic in some regard? Yes. But this is Gunther, who we've built up for the past, 3 years? 666 Intercontinental title reign, World Heavyweight Champion, the guy who just main evented WrestleMania with Jey Uso. And he goes 20 minutes. 20 minutes with Pat McAfee. Move out the way, Logan Paul. Move out the way, Seth Rollins. Pat McAfee, you are the number one contender for the WWE Championship. The World Heavyweight Championship. Pat McAfee, you need to stop sitting behind the desk and you need to go start challenging Jey Uso. Stop doing the yeets. Stop doing that. You just showed that you can be a World Heavyweight Champion contender. You just went 20 minutes with the guy, the man in wrestling, the measuring stick, Gunther.
All right, then.
No. By WWE logic, if you can hang with that guy, you can hang with anybody. So therefore, Gunther should be World Heavyweight Champion. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right, Lewis, do you mind if I go next?
Yes. Let me just say this. He looked way more impressive than Jey Uso. He looked way more impressive. Let's just put Pat McAfee to the moon.
Brian, go before I spaz.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Let me just get an official.
When we talk about professional wrestling,
minutes with Gunther.
When we talk about professional wrestling, sometimes we always talk about psychology, right? So let me see if I can psychologically break this down. Okay. I don't know if you guys paid attention to Gunther's entrance when he walked in. Something as simple as that. Now, typically when Gunther comes out and he walks to the ring, he looks stoic. He just looks serious, and he just walks to the ring as normal, right? This time for this match, he's walking. He's got a big smile on his face. He's doing this, almost as if to say, like, I'm gonna torture this guy. Like, I'm gonna beat the living shit out of this guy. He wasn't going in. Psychologically, he wasn't going into this match going for a quick 1, 2, 3 or a quick 3-minute match. He wanted to torture Pat McAfee. He wanted to beat the living crap out of him. He wanted to really show him that, like, yo, you're an announcer. Well, this is my world. And if you pay attention to the match, the very limited times that Pat McAfee had momentum, Gunther immediately cut it off. Like, I remember there was one sequence where, like, Pat kicked Gunther like 3 times, and then he went for a pin. And then Gunther kicked out at one. I think that's the only time during the match where Pat McAfee had any momentum. And then we get to the end. The only thing that I will critique is at the very end, after he choked them out, the fact that Pat McAfee was standing up after and they had the face-to-face. Only because when initially they did the whole segment on Raw when he attacked Gunther, when Gunther went after Michael Cole, and then Gunther put him in the chokehold afterwards and choked him out. Literally, they were helping him to the back. He's coughing, he's holding his throat, and doing all this extra stuff. So I felt like consistency-wise, that didn't line up. But as far as the actual match goes, psychologically, Gunther wasn't going into that match to win a 2 or 3 minute match and just fold Pat McAfee. Like I said,
psychologically,
he wanted to torture the shit out of him. That's because he knew he was going to win. He knew who was in front of him. He literally, you want to get technical, Gunther was playing with him the entire match. He really wanted to get technical.
He just got a 15-minute beatdown from a former world champion who is the top-notch and peak condition of his career. And after a sleeper move that he took out mainly anybody who went up in front of him, Pat McAfee is standing right across from him after all of that. Pat McAfee.
That's the only negative you could take from it. Just that end of match sequence. Just because of what
you want to know what sent Gunther to velocity. I'm sick of him too. What do you mean?
My God, get this man out of here! All right.
Gunther does not look
enough.
Pat McAfee is a main eventer now.
Gunther does not look any worse as a result of this match.
He looks terrible.
No, he does not. What are you talking about?
Again, I said this match had to end in a disqualification because Gunther would beat the hell out of Pat McAfee to a bloody pulp. Or at least in this WWE era, if they're going to be soft on blood, at least beat him to a pulp where he couldn't fight back and defend himself. That's what it should have been.
Oh, even on even on top of that, throughout the match, how many times was Michael Cole screaming through commentary, "Yo, just end it, just end it, just end it, just end it"? Like literally,
Michael Cole does that every big match.
no, this is where you're wrong. Because when going into this match, Michael Cole even said this is the first time in his career that he was going to be biased as shit towards Pat McAfee. So when he's literally telling him, "Yo, bro, just end the match, just end it. You already got him down, just end it." And Gunther's just smiling at him, putting his hands like, "Nah, I'm gonna fuck him up." So I don't think it makes Gunther look any worse. I mean, like I said, because psychologically he wasn't going into that match to win in 2 minutes.
The move, back to my original point at the start of the show. What is a finisher? What is a finisher?
All right. I need to speak on this tomfoolery. This man,
the tomfoolery of the match.
This comments, this tomfoolery you're making, that because this man had a match against Gunther and lasted 20 minutes, that he should now be world heavyweight champion instead of Jey Uso.
He should be in the main event.
Kidding me?
He should be in the main event.
No, he should not.
It should be a
Brian
triple threat.
said,
It should be a triple threat match with Jey Uso.
You know what his finisher was in NXT? Was his punt. And this man gave Gunther the punt, and he kicked out and won. Come on.
This is the equivalent of Jarrett the King Lawler doing the fish drop off the second rope.
No,
it's not going to win a match.
He was never a threat to begin with.
Oh, so would you prefer that Gunther had kicked out with no count at all?
I would have preferred Gunther to slaughter this man.
And he did. Come on now. What fight did Pat McAfee actually really put up against Gunther?
A more valiant effort than he should.
No, he did not. No, he did not. He chopped the hell out of him multiple times. This man was crawling around the ring. Yeah, like Brian said, he had those little spots of momentum, and it did nothing. And then you got Michael Cole over here, being his little sidekick and be like, "Come on, Pat, you can do it." Or just being like, "Oh, just end the match." You're toying with him, which he did. He gave him a power bomb. He was choking him out. He was doing all this stuff. He was toying with him. There was no reason why we even consider Pat McAfee winning this match. Do you know Gunther would be sent down to Velocity if Pat McAfee won this damn match?
I wanted him to win by how he would have won, by disqualification. That is how I wanted it.
Why?
That is how it should have been.
Why?
Because it would have showed how of a mean streak Gunther has after losing the title.
But he can.
I'm just gonna say this again to you, Lewis. I'm just gonna say this again to you. Pat McAfee was standing after the match.
Like I said, that's the only negative you can take from the entire match. It's just the fact that he was.
I disagree.
And again, but also like you just said, he is an announcer. He probably just got up because he thought that's what he was just. I'm just gonna get up.
Okay, get his respect. Remember Steve-O when they had the guest GMs and they were getting his ass up and he wouldn't stay down?
Well, that's because at the end they actually had to hurt him to make him stay down.
I mean,
like for real. Remember Umaga splashing them nonstop?
I mean, that is Steve-O though. So
exactly. That's what we're comparing now.
And this is Pat McAfee.
Oh my god! And again, Gunther, he needed a win, especially after WrestleMania.
McAfee gives him that feather in his cap.
Well, you can already see on Raw they're already moving on to his rematch. So realistically, did he get hurt? So they're already booked Jay and Gunther. What was it, 4 now?
I'm disgusted by the two of you.
No, you need to put some respect on Jey Uso and stop praising Pat McAfee like was the best thing to come out of this damn match just because he got up after the submission.
Whoa. Last time I checked, Jey Uso wasn't on the card.
Last time I checked, Jey Uso is still the champion.
He didn't defend it.
Oh, come on, man.
Of course he's still the champion. He won it at WrestleMania. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sick of you guys. You guys.
So you're telling me it should have been Pat McAfee versus Jey Uso then for the title?
It should be Gunther versus Jey Uso versus Pat McAfee.
Oh my God! Okay,
Throw Logan Paul in there too.
Let's move on.
Throw Logan
Let's
Paul in
move
there
on.
too. I'm just saying. An announcer went 15 minutes with the former world champion.
He didn't though. He got chopped
What's his
around. He got chopped around. How was that going? He barely put up a fight. He had one section where he had some momentum and it was over.
Triple H and The Rock. I'm not liking the booking. Gunther looks weak. I'm sorry.
I know this. Again, this match should have never happened in the first place.
It shouldn't have.
Exactly. I did not want.
Okay, let me ask a question. How did Gunther look weak if within that match he never got a 2 count? But Pat McAfee.
You want to know how he looks weak? Because it took 15 minutes to defeat somebody who's sitting behind a desk.
Again, how many matches were on this damn card?
And
I don't give a damn about that.
Again, so obviously they got to fill time. It wasn't going to be a squash match. It was a long squash match.
It should have just been a squash match.
It
should have been a devastating squash match, and it wasn't.
Look at how
let
many
alone
cards.
Pat McAfee standing, and then he's on Raw the next night behind the desk.
He's not
chilling.
a consistent wrestler.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I grew up in the day and age when you had broken ribs in the ring and you got hit in the ribs and stuff like that. You came out with your ribs taped up.
Again, he's not a full-time wrestler. Dan.
I mean, McAfee, honestly, if he got the beatdown that he should have gotten, he shouldn't have even been on Raw.
He got a master class on how to sell so fast in the matter of 2 weeks.
I mean, they did kind of allude to it because initially he wasn't out there to start the show. Like the first segment happened, and then he came out after, and then they told the story of how he was back.
Oh, 15 minutes.
He was back with medical.
That's the only beating that Gunther put on Pat McAfee. 15-minute beatdown. That's an absence on Raw. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah, no.
We grew up in the era of DDP. We grew up in the era of DDP with broken ribs with bandages around
and we also grew up in the era of one finisher ends all, and look at where we're at now.
Yeah, everything.
I mean, at least when the one finisher it was on professional wrestlers, not an announcer. Just saying.
Okay. Let me ask one more question before we move on. At any point during that match, did you even think that Pat McAfee had a chance? Because there've been plenty of matches of this nature where there was a sequence. There was a sequence where you thought.
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there because they did have Michael Cole helping him. I'm not saying he would have won, but again, I thought he would have won by disqualification. So if you're asking me on that question, yes.
How could you thought Pat McAfee was going to win via disqualification?
Yes, that was the loophole that I threw in my decision because I thought Gunther would have beaten him down so bad that he wouldn't have stopped, and the referee would have disqualified Gunther. That was my logic.
If anything,
because you're supposed to make a heel.
You know what he could have done? You know what he could have done more is probably when he hits the power bomb and he goes to cover him, and then he picks him up, and he's like, "Nope, not yet." That probably would have been better.
Oh, because you want to know why? Because it's just an announcer, Pat McAfee. You know.
But again, like you just said, you also act like he's the size of Michael.
I don't want to see a Gunther match end under. Any Gunther match going forward should not end under 15 minutes. I don't care if it's on Raw. I don't care if it's on Saturday Night. I don't care. If he beats anybody in 5 minutes, I'm going to be like, Pat McAfee did a better job than him. Just saying.
Stop it.
I'm just saying. You guys are letting this off the hook.
No.
Because you guys are just thinking of it as a throwaway.
You're acting like this man was so close to winning this match.
It's not about winning the match. It's about how it's won. That's number one. Number two,
he did his job. He tapped him out and he beat the crap out of him. Did he not?
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he did.
He did exactly what he's supposed to do.
We've been watching wrestling for all our lives, and we have seen better beatdowns of people than this.
Okay, but at the same time, Pat McAfee is not your normal announcer where he's like a Michael Cole.
He's a punter, former punter. He's a decade removed from being a punter.
Look at his stature.
And he's an athlete. Yeah.
He's not a small man. He's not 5'6", 5'7". The man's like 6'3", 6'2".
If Gunther faces Braun Breaker again at any point in time, and he loses under 15 minutes, we're gonna revisit this. I'm just saying.
What if he gets screwed? So you're just gonna say that every time now?
I'm just saying. I'm so disappointed in you guys. Let's
No,
move on.
you're alluding that this man survived, and that makes him so much better than everybody else now.
He shouldn't even be standing. He shouldn't even be coherent. He should have been off Raw.
Let's
Gunther one with a roll up or something.
He might as well. I'm so disappointed in you guys. I'm so disgusted.
Like he stole the victory. Like
I'm gonna tag Pat McAfee in this. Hopefully he responds. He
Oh
needs to
my
explain.
God.
I need to talk to Pat McAfee.
This whole thing is getting clipped out. No,
we need to tag. I need to tag Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, if you were listening, we need you on the show. We need some type of explanation. You're being held back. Can I be your manager, Pat McAfee? You were being held down by the establishment. You should not be sitting behind the desk.
He's gonna be a Daniel Daly guy.
Yes. And we're gonna get him to the top. That's what we're gonna do. Because there is
make deals. He's gonna get him all the championship matches he wants for every title.
Pat McAfee should turn heel after this. He should become a cocky guy. Yes, he should. This is ridiculous.
Well, he was a heel in NXT, which actually was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
he was.
Just saying. I'm just sick of you guys. I'm sick of you guys. I can't believe you guys. I can't believe you guys. You guys are co-signing Pat McAfee.
You're co-signing Pat McAfee. What
you're co-signing. I mean, first of all, you're the one that picked him. So first,
whoa! To win by disqualification.
Yeah. No, you said to win, to beat. You never.
Yes, I did. I said by disqualification, he was going to win the match.
Brian, let's run the tape. Let's see
honestly, that might be next week's Throwback Tuesday post.
Let's see if he actually said it.
I can't believe you guys. You guys disgust me. All right, let's move on. There's some other championship news here. Dominic Mysterio outlasts Penta to retain his title. Dirty Dom picking up his win against Penta. What do you guys make of this match? And of course, Judgment Day getting involved.
I tried to tell y'all what Penta's next feud was going to be. I told y'all Grande Americana was going to be the next step for Penta. And as soon as Judgment Day all came out and got involved, I'm like, where's Chad Gable with the mask? All right, he's about to pop up at some point. Yep, nope, there he is. Yep, all right, here we go. Overall, the match itself was very good. I mean, Penta and Dom they've definitely built up a lot of chemistry over the past few months through the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania and through other matches they had on Monday Night Raw. It's unfortunate that Penta is kind of being like put to the side, but it is for a better story with the Dom and the Judgment Day and Dom and Finn Balor. I think they alluded to on Raw what female talent was Finn Balor talking to? So he was talking to Roxanne in the back. So you have to wonder how that's gonna play out.
Balor Club.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate that Penta is kind of take a step back from the IC title picture, but like I said, the story with Dom and Finn, if done correctly, if they continue moving in this direction, it could potentially be very interesting. Because I'm still since WrestleMania, because I was there for it. I'm still like puzzled by this positive reaction that Dominic is getting now. I'm still just like yo. Literally a year ago, when he put the mic to his mouth, nobody wanted to even hear him speak. Like that's how good the heat was. Now all of a sudden he's everybody's cup of tea, and I'm just like what exactly happened? What feud did he have that made the fans just say, okay, we like this guy right now?
You know what I think it was?
Did he work a Finn Balor?
You know what I think it was though? I think it was what contributed to it was the whole when Finn was trying to be like, oh, I'm the best and this and this and that, and they're like, but Dom's over here getting wins. Dom got a win over this person. Dom, so he's gonna get this title shot, or he's gonna get the.
You want to know what it was? It was his work from the previous years of just putting in that work. Despite being a heel, he was in those moments.
And he wrestled a lot. Like, I mean, we talked about it. He literally wrestled the most matches. Like,
You remember how everybody was going crazy? How he got when he was on ranked number 1 for what was it, top superstars under 30 or something? And he got named number 1, number 1, and then like,
doesn't look so bad now, does it?
Now that list looks genius now. I mean,
but I think also his character work, like, if not like saying, I mean, yeah, he almost feels like he plays the role all the time. He's just like, nah, I'm the best. I'm this, I'm that. Like, we're cool, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like him getting the title, I guess, just cemented all that work. And we're like, yeah, you actually do kind of deserve this. And it was like, it was more so like an unexpected win, but at the same time, like, this is actually a good win. And I feel like everybody, like, in unison had that like reaction. That's why I was like, oh shit, Dom won. Like, it would have been, it was crazy. It's like, when he had this whole heel turn, if you probably would have done this back then, we would be like, yeah, he sucks. He doesn't need
it would have worked.
But, his growth had, like, from when he first started with Ray to what he looks like now, it's night and day,
Yeah. He was clean cut. He didn't have a beard.
No mustache, the long hair, like.
He's just grown even though he's just what has been his character, a slimy heel, right? But it's just like it's just worked. It's just worked. Like it's just gotten over, and it's just respect for his ring work and what he's done. The past couple of years, the past 2 years, really just getting over, and it's like you gotta respect it. And when he won the title, it was kind of like, all right, we can see this because we've seen this guy grow up and have all these matches over time. It's like, finally, he has a title, because that was one of the things that he really didn't have outside the tag team titles. Yeah. But
when he eventually reconciles with his father, people are going to be crying. People are going to be crying, like literally crying tears. Like, watch. Like, the day
it's going to be. It's going to be.
And they embrace. People are going to be crying and getting emotional. Like,
that's going to be at Ray's retirement match. That's what that's going to be.
Like, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're my dad.
You're not a deadbeat anymore.
You've never been a deadbeat.
Oh my god. But yeah, just the growth of him. Penta, just always good in the ring. Him and Ray Phoenix, I've been impressed by. I love when they jump on the top. Ray Phoenix does that thing when he walks old school.
Yeah.
He kicks the guy in the chest. I'm like, these guys are good in the ring, and it's just like, just put them together.
Yeah,
it's coming. Patience.
I understand what they're doing. They're trying to individually introduce them to the WWE universe and get them acclimated and stuff like that. Cool, but it's like those guys are so good. Like,
it's coming. I think they're still in the introduction phase for both of them. So yeah. So eventually they're gonna bring them together. Yeah.
But yeah, Dom picking up that win, retaining his title. We'll see what happens with him and Finn Balor, because it seems like there's some.
I don't know how that split's gonna go. It's like, do you either just have Finn betray him, or is he just gonna get his own group and that's gonna be the clash? I don't know.
I think that's what it's gonna be, because it's probably gonna be, as we saw, Roxanne Perez. Because why else would you be talking to Roxanne Perez?
What I think would be cool is him, AJ, and Roxanne would be pretty cool
against Dom and. Well, JD McDonough is going to go with Finn, most likely, right?
I feel like he'd be torn and maybe would stay with the Judgment Day.
No. JD McDonough needs to go with Finn. JD McDonough is baby Finn. Essentially, no, they need to stay. JD McDonough is on the main roster because of Finn Balor. Like everything that JD has done on the main roster is because
here's what happens. Here's what happens. Everyone betrays Dom, and then that's when Dom reunites with Ray, and Ray comes saves Dom.
I guess
that's probably what's going to happen. Or the Penta Bros team up and they help Dom against Finn.
And then they bring in Vikingo.
True, worlds collide is right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Like they just
or they bring out Alberto.
I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yep.
Whoever they get to face him at Worlds Collide, that's got to be somebody that in ring wise can like match everything that he does. Because I already know for that match, he's probably gonna do like 5 or 6 crazy ass moves that like you haven't seen before. All
they're gonna let loose at that show.
Yeah, no, they're gonna let him go crazy. Like,
they're gonna let loose at that show.
I would love. Can you imagine him and Javon Evans?
Oh,
him
man.
and Axiom would probably be pretty cool too.
Axiom, like there's so many guys I think of that you could just throw them in there with, and like it'll be a 5-star.
And that's in Inglewood, California. That's gonna be lit.
Inglewood.
That's gonna be lit.
Get either Penta or Phoenix, one of the two. Don't matter.
That's gonna be insane. But yeah, Dominic Mysterio picking up that win. Let's keep moving on to Jacob Fatu retaining his United States title with a new Bloodline member. We'll find out what happens on Friday. What happens on Friday with that? But what do you guys think of the matchup and the debut of Jeff Cobb?
Great
in
match.
WWE.
Great match.
Yeah, very, very wise of them to kick off the show with that, because that fatal 4-way was just pretty much it was like a car crash to me. It was so physical, especially with all the stuff that Damian and Drew were doing.
They took each other out. Yep.
Yeah, the choke slam, which had everybody thinking that Drew was legitimately hurt afterwards. But this is probably the most action that the United States title has gotten in a very long time. As far as like the top contenders go for going after the US title, that's probably the most attention it's gotten in a very, very long time. But moving on to Jeff Cobb, like I said, I haven't really watched his stuff in New Japan. I first got exposed to him when he came to AEW, and like I think he was in the storyline with Jericho, where MJF hired him as like a mercenary to take out Chris Jericho, I think. So I've seen a couple of his matches. He is very hard hitting. He definitely fits the mold of what they're trying to do if they're having him at kind of like a new heater for Solo or a new enforcer. He definitely fits that mold. I mean, he is on the other side of the 40, but aside from
he looks super young though.
Exactly. He's 42, but he looks young.
He's 42.
Yeah, he's 42. No, because that was actually a thing on social media, because people were complaining about it, saying that like, oh, you're releasing so and so for age purposes, but yet you're hiring this guy because he's in his late 40s. So that actually was a discussion on social media.
What's crazy? I saw a clip recently that he was in Lucha Underground, and I was like, I thought this dude was young. I was like, damn, how old was he if he was already doing Lucha Underground? Yeah, and
apparently him and Jacob Fatu, they've had matches in the past with other promotions, with MLW on the Independence.
Yeah, MLW.
They have chemistry together. So eventually when they do have that match, that's going to be very good.
Oh, man. But no, I thought this match was pretty good. LA Knight looked good in it. Of course, Damian Priest and Drew, who I didn't even think should have been in the match. They added to the match actually and added some hard hitting, added excitement to the match. So I thought that was good. But Jeff Cobb coming out, I'm just like, there's another guy. There's another brute that they're adding to this, right? In terms of physicality and stuff like that. And he took out LA Knight. And I like the play on Jacob Fatu, looking like what the hell's going on here with Solo out there and stuff like that. So that's a nice addition to it. But I thought this was a good match and a good showcase, especially for the U.S. title, as Brian said, because it's like it's kind of just been on a slow burn with that title and trying to find some good traction with it. And it looks like we finally have it here with Jacob Fatu retaining here and continuing his reign and new questions in the bloodline. So we'll see what happens with that. But Jeff Cobb being in there, again, like Brian, he's 42 years old. So I was just like, damn, he's up there in age. But
shit,
hopefully he's able to add this and doesn't fall into the background of this. Let's keep moving on. That was our picks for Backlash. Let's get into Monday Night Raw side of things. We have the return of CM Punk coming back to Raw, basically voicing his frustrations with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins in this new group with Braun Breaker, leading to a match that's going to be happening at Saturday night's main event. CM Punk and Sami Zayn to face Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. What do you guys make of this CM Punk returning and Paul Heyman responding, actually coming out?
I mean, if we're talking about the opening segment, in general. I mean, it was a very good opening segment. I mean, this is the top story on Monday Night Raw now. The only thing I'm kind of more interested in is like who's going to be the third man, so to say, with Seth Rollins or Braun Breaker, because you have to know they're definitely going to add another person. And I think we've talked about it before, whether or not that person should be like an enforcer type, or should it be somebody that's kind of like a hybrid of representing the future. I know because kind of Braun Breaker is kind of in that role right now, where it's kind of he represents the future, but he's also more so of the enforcer because of some of the crazy shit that he's done.
Already taking out Jey Uso.
Yep, they're already taking out Jey Uso. So it makes you think of what if they just get a guy that Seth looks at and says, okay, this is the future. This is my prodigy right here, and I'm going to build up. I know we've talked about. I know a name we brought up was Austin Theory, or maybe somebody of that realm. But that's really what I'm more interested in. With this story, like we're all eventually waiting for the return of Roman Reigns, because obviously his impact in this feud is clearly evident. But until then, if we're gonna get opening segments like that, I mean, I'll still be entertained, but I am like looking forward to who's going to be the third man, and eventually Roman Reigns' involvement when he gets back into the fray.
So you mean third man for Seth and Braun? I mean Seth and Braun.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at Paul Heyman as just the manager, kind of similar to like when he was with the Dangerous Alliance and all that stuff. I'm just looking at him like he's just as the manager. So I
bring in Obafemi.
See, that would be crazy, but I feel like that would take away from Braun Breaker.
That would take away from Braun Breaker. And some people are saying Sammy's going to turn.
You know who? Sorry to cut you off.
That's actually no.
Who would be, I think, ideal is Ethan Page.
Nah.
You don't think he fits that mold?
Nah.
You don't think he fits that mold?
Nah. They need somebody.
You think they need somebody like bigger? Because Braun is the enforcer right now.
See, I said they should have joined. I said it from day one. If they're not going to do this whole thing with soul searching and stuff like that and all that stuff, and that's out the window, it should have been John Cena. But they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a random name right now from NXT that you guys are probably not even thinking of. Somebody who fits that role perfectly is the guy who just became number one contender to Obafemi, Miles Bourne from NQCC, because he's such a relative unknown, and he already looks like Randy Orton. He's pretty much a baby Randy Orton. So if you're talking about like somebody that you want to like push and say like this is the future, looks wise, Miles Bourne fits that.
Is he the one dating Stephanie Becker?
Apparently, though, that's the rumor right now. And if it's true, lucky motherfucker. How did he pull that? You're talking about on NXT, like he cut a very like emotional promo talking about himself. Like I didn't even realize that like he has a disability. He's partially deaf. Yeah. He's partially deaf, and he's still and he cuts a promo better than like maybe like a lot of people on that roster right now.
Oh wow,
being partially deaf, it's just crazy. So if he pulls Stephanie Becker, I respect that man. When we see the photos, it definitely looks from the photos. It definitely looks like that they're a couple. So congratulations, man.
Always celebrating love, but just thinking about who should be the third man. People were saying Sami Zayn. I'm like, because they think that he's going to turn on Jay and CM and Punk and stuff like that. I'm just like, I don't think so. I don't know who the third man should be. It's kind of like the outsiders going to WCW. Who's the third man, right?
Yeah.
Like, who should the third person be? It's going to be somebody, and it's probably going to be at Saturday night's main event. We find out who it is.
Yeah, bro. Definitely.
Were they talking about that they're going to bring in the third person? Or hinted at it?
It's alluded because now they're facing Sammy, Seth, and allegedly Jey Uso. So three of them, you need to even up the odds.
But wait, Jey Uso's not in the match. Jey Uso's having his thing with Logan Paul.
Fighting Logan Paul, but he did like the whole segment. He came out and helped them.
Because my interpretation was it was just going to be Punk and Sammy versus Seth and Braun.
Yeah, but Jey Uso is a part of the feud because like we talked about, Braun Breaker took him out on Monday Night Raw afterwards too.
Yeah.
So he still is a part of it. So like Daniel said, if you do need a third guy, so
yeah,
the reveal at Saturday Night's main event would be perfect. Or like I know Daniel was just alluding to it, the possibility of Sami Zayn turning. That would be very Shield-esque.
He's been so goody to turn him heel.
Like they missed the moment with that though.
Mm-hmm.
It should have happened with that whole like, oh, you want to take the offer type thing. I feel like that's where I don't know. They could have done it some way, and I mean, honestly, at this point, Sammy kind of needs it, but.
Trying to think who else should it be.
I don't think Sammy could ever win a title if he's heel. I don't know. I feel like he needs to win it as an underdog. But
yeah, he needs to win it as a babyface.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Shit, who should be the third man? Brock Lesnar. There we go. Problem solved.
Your boy Omos.
Hey, Brian, I just want to say for the record, I did not say his name. Lewis did.
Okay, is he technically still in WWE? Because I saw he was in Japan. So
he might just be getting some ring work. That's all. Learn some lucha libre. That's all.
Getting
some lucha libre. Oh man.
Who knows?
I don't know. That's my biggest
thing.
thing.
I think Ethan Page fits that mold just because of like hockey, heelish. He could come off as like a younger. I don't know how much younger he actually is, but like a younger Seth Rollins type. He's got the look. He could be like the schemer. I don't know. I just gotta see it like that.
He is 35. So there's a little bit more traction there. And they did make a big deal of him in NXT. So
yeah. I mean, he did win the title too,
Maybe they can go with that route. But yeah, we'll see who finds out to be the third man. Moving on to more Saturday night main event news. We got Jey Uso vows to defeat Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event. And then whoever the winner at Saturday night's main event will face Gunther June 9th in Phoenix, Arizona for that Raw. I thought this was a passionate promo by Jey Uso. And Gunther kind of trying to reclaim his throne, even though he doesn't look the best to me after beating Matt McAfee in the way he did.
Still.
What do you guys make of this segment in build up?
There's only one thing I'm gonna take away from it because you pretty much took all the words out of my mouth as far as like the promo goes with Gunther and everything.
That Gunther lost his steam?
No, not that. Yeah, obviously you know how I feel about that, but it's what's being reported now. Shameless plug, new show, Brian versus the Dirt Sheets, which episode 1 was just released this past Tuesday. I am going to be talking about this on episode 2. This report that apparently this Gunther versus Jey Uso match is a setup for the eventual return of Goldberg. Now I'm going to address the shit on the Dirt Sheets.
I think I'm about to throw up.
But I swear, as a preview, I'm going to attack that report. But I swear, if that is the intention, and that's the only reason why we're getting that match, for the love of God, I can't even find the words right now.
I'm blaming you two.
I'd be.
How is this our fault?
Hey, you guys were fine. You guys were fine with Pat McAfee going 15 minutes. Maybe Goldberg.
You act like we booked that damn match, Daniel.
You didn't book it. You didn't book it, but you guys co-signed it. That's
no, we did not. You're the one claiming Pat McAfee should have won. You're the co-signer.
Like I said, the story is
should
there.
Be a main eventer.
You see how Daniel's over here trying to gaslight us.
Like, as much as we don't want to see fucking old ass Goldberg, the story is there from last year though when they had that pull apart at the PLE. So the story is there. So it's like we don't want to see it, but it kind of makes sense. But you just don't want to see it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The time for Goldberg to have his retirement match has passed. It has passed. The man.
but if he's gonna go out,
he's been out.
No, yeah, but I'm saying this is gonna be his last.
He's been out.
But this is gonna be it. Why not be in the ring with somebody like Gunther, who's the best in-ring technician?
Brian, listen to what you're saying. You said if this is gonna be it. When is the last time we saw Goldberg? It's been like 2 years.
In a match? Yeah, actually, in a match, I think it's been a minute.
Who was the last match? Was it in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I think his last match was that it was either against Roman in Saudi Arabia or was that street fight he had with Bobby Lashley, which was actually very good. But that was more than I think that was like 2 years ago.
He did have that street fight with Bobby Lashley. Oh my god!
But that was good though. That was actually the one time Goldberg actually had a good match.
I don't even. It's been 2 years now.
Yeah. So realistically,
no one if he comes back, he needs to do a high spear bye. We do not.
That's why Pat McAfee won 15 minutes. That's why Pat McAfee won 15 minutes, Lewis. So Goldberg can go 20. Yeah, there we go.
So Goldberg gets beat.
Goldberg won't make.
So Goldberg gets beat in 3 minutes. You're gonna come on here and rant about the decision again?
Hey! Whoa! At least Goldberg is the former world champion.
I'm pretty sure Gunther's gonna go into that match psychologically. Say I gotta beat.
Hey, Goldberg was a football player too.
So I gotta beat this old man.
At least he played defensive lineman.
Punters are big too.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the fact that we're talking about Goldberg that goes to show you that pretty much that nobody cares about the Logan Paul match.
Oh no! Well, come on now. And you know what's crazy? Logan Paul is good in the ring. It's just
he's not consistently enough on TV.
To
have a storyline or for me to care about him.
Yeah, exactly. Or actually take him serious. Like, U.S. title, have that.
Why don't they just pair him with A-Town Down?
That would work easily, honestly.
And they just be assholes and dicks to everybody, and they're his lackeys and kind of prop him.
I also didn't like how do you not have at least like you could have had Logan Paul show up via satellite. You could have had a backstage promo or something. Like
he did show up. He punched didn't he punch Jay?
Punched Jay in the face, yeah.
He at the end. Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, that was last week.
That was last week's episode. Because that punch was after the show went off the air. But the fact that Saturday night's main event, I know obviously this coming Monday on Raw, Logan Paul more than likely is going to be there. They'll probably have one final build before Saturday night's main event. But I just feel as though because the match was like announced at the PLE at Backlash, you could have at least had him on the show in like a pre-recorded segment or something. Like this is even though it is Logan Paul, it is still the world title. So it's like
you gotta have some type of build. So probably next week, but it's just this is Goldberg talked about twice in a week. I'm not liking that. Let's keep moving. Becky Lynch does her best John Cena impression.
Did you only put this topic because I shared with you that that Instagram video of the promo that she cut on Raw?
She's taking out the garbage, guys.
Since you've been the biggest detractor of Becky Lynch as far as mic skills go, so
I've only been saying this forever. She's not good on the mic.
She's good on the mic.
No, it's okay. It's time to let go. It's okay.
I'll say this much. She gets the point across, but the delivery is always in. I'll say that. She gets the point across, but the delivery of it is always very, very shaky.
And now she's doing her best John Cena impression, blaming the fans. And it's like, no, just be like Lyra's mooching off you and just keep it simple like that. What she ultimately kind of did say, lean into a little bit, but it's like it was a good promo, fiery promo, and it's kind of like, okay, we're now establishing Becky as a full-fledged heel a little bit more. But it's just like, I don't know. It just felt John Cena. John Cena's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm just like, you're just doing the same exact thing.
There was a point in time where, like, the last time that she was a heel, where I think like Triple H talked about this in the interview, where it's like they felt like literally like a month or two before they officially turned her back face, that like they felt like they were swimming upstream with her as a heel, because I think people just didn't want to boo her. So the fact that they're going back to the well, eventually people are gonna not buy it if the promos are going to continue to be like that. Like I said, they got the point across, but because the delivery sometimes is so shaky, that sometimes can make the fans say, sorry, that can sometimes make the fans almost
bail out.
Say, in that moment, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that she's going against Lyra and Bailey, who are two lovable baby faces right now. Like no one's gonna hate them right now. So
not according to Jonathan Coachman.
Oh man! Get that man out of here.
Yeah, I'm just
get that man out of here.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Bailey's name.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I really was. The timing of that was very poor, because no, because not even that, because I remember the interview that she did with Chris Van Fleet for WrestleMania weekend that went out, and how people were talking. Yeah, and how people were talking about like how like that interview was done right after, I think like was right after she found out that she wasn't going to be on WrestleMania. They were going to go with this story, and how like there was a moment during that interview where she like got emotional about a question that he had asked, and people were alluding that to her being emotional, being left off the card. So people were behind Bailey that entire WrestleMania weekend. So for Coach to come out and say
her emotional, I know she said at one point she was like, "Oh yeah, people," like she was discussing something. I was like, "Yeah, wait till people."
She kind of alluded to something was happening.
She alluded to that she wasn't going to be on the card, and then like she did seem like she had like a moment for a second that people kind of like pointed out, and they were just like, "How do you leave Bailey off the card? She's worked her ass off all year long, even though there was a plan behind it, but still, how do you leave Bailey off the card?" So that's why I say Coach's timing was horrible, because it's like people are still behind Bailey, and then you over here coming out here washed up and all that stuff.
Fuck Jonathan Coachman.
Yes.
You want to know why?
Yes.
Because for him to sit up there and say she doesn't draw and she's not a big star and all this other bullshit, Bailey literally won the title at WrestleMania. She literally main evented shows. She's literally been in the top women's division for a while now. This is not some blimp on the screen or she had a moment and then it never happened again. She's been consistently working with various women, going down to NXT, coming up, working with younger people, working with people who need to be reestablished. Damage Control was a top draw for almost 2 years before she ended up winning the title. So it's not like she hasn't been building up the division, hasn't been having a high work rate. So for him to come out and just say that and say she's never drew anything, it's fucking crazy.
Coach is just mad that Coach is just mad that because during his last run when he came back to commentary, Corey Graves reminded him that this shit ain't for him anymore. That's why Coach is in his feelings.
Yeah.
Like for him to say, and especially that's another thing. He's been out of wrestling for a couple of years now. He's been in the sports betting thing that he helps people place bets and shit like that. So for him to come out and say that Bailey hasn't drawn, what are you doing talking wrestling again?
Who knows?
Well, the way that he left and talked shit about WWE and how they did him and didn't pay him and all this other shit, and it's just like,
he had the whole Vince thing.
Yeah, like why are you talking?
He has a wrestling. Doesn't he have a wrestling podcast, or is that podcast just for betting and stuff?
I don't know.
I think he has a wrestling podcast.
I think he has like a wrestling podcast.
Man, fuck him, man, for saying that shit. Like, fuck him. Like,
when I saw those comments, I was like, that's fucked up.
It's so left field and it's like, nah, man. Mm-hmm. It didn't need to be said, but fuck him. Fuck him. That's where I'm at with Jonathan Coachman. Just. Oh man, but fuck it. Yeah, that pissed me off. All right, let's keep moving on. We had Io and Rhea defeat Julia and Roxanne. Great match between all of these four women. My only issue is Roxanne and Julia getting called up. It's like, why are they losing? I understand that Io and Rhea are the bigger draws and stuff like that, and you're trying to keep the shine on them.
Why?
Yeah, I know that's literally the reason why I kind of didn't.
They should be causing more havoc
because they're up against the champ and they're up against the champ and the top contender. So it's like, okay, just being in the ring with them alone.
I get it. They're doing great work together. I I was kind of worried about them getting called up. I'm like, what role are they going to have for them? But to pair them together as heels and actually go after people, I'm fine with that. So.
And apparently, I saw a clip on Instagram. Apparently, they already started teasing a split because I think Roxanne was backstage afterwards saying, "We need to regroup. We need to do this. We need to do that." And Julia looked at her and said, "There is no." I think she said, there is no we or we," and then walked away.
So, why is she a heel? Why is Julia a heel? I don't understand.
No. Actually, that's actually one case where I think that was the right move because I think in NXT they kind of were expecting her to be like the big they expected her to be what Stephanie Vaquer is right now. So because the fans aren't giving her that immediate gratitude, I think that they flipped to her being a heel because of that. I think she was a heel for the most of her part in Stardom or whatever promotion she was in last. I think she was a heel there. So,
just like, damn, that it just happened so quick. I'm like, wait, she's a heel now, and now like she's getting called up, and now she's in a tag team.
Pretty much every positive reaction that Stephanie is getting right now. I think they thought Julia was going to get the exact same.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have a move that Booker T loses his mind over. So,
oh yeah.
Because one of the fans showed like off-camera footage of what Booker T is actually doing when he's making that sound. he's literally off camera.
Jesus. Sorry,
Booker
children.
T and Shawn Michaels keeping NXT's
keeping NXT
young adulthood entertained. But let's get into our last segment of the night. We got Dark Horses for Money in the Bank that's coming up in June. Qualifying matches, they haven't announced the matches as yet, but qualifying matches are happening this Friday on SmackDown.
Yep.
But who are some of your guys' thoughts for Dark Horses for Money in the Bank?
So first name that comes to my head is Carmelo Hayes.
No, I'm gonna stop it right there.
Now hear me out.
They paired him with The Miz. He's dead in the water.
But that's the reason why I think he's a dark horse to win it, because not only did he just win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but because he's been in this partnership with The Miz, just imagine him winning the Money in the Bank briefcase with the partnership with The Miz, and Miz constantly reminding him about WrestleMania, and because Miz has had the briefcase before, he could try to advise him about when to cash in, and constantly talk about, I cashed that briefcase in against Randy Orton and it had success. Or like there's so much that they can do because of the history.
What they should do is have Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams form a tag team, be managed by The Miz, and have The Miz just try to be like, hey, I can make you guys stars and stuff like that. And then eventually at some point they kick him to the curb. That should be it. But it's just like, I don't know why they're together.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really explain it, but the chemistry is somewhat there.
And he loses all the time. He loses all the time.
He got like I said, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I know that doesn't mean a lot, but he got. I'm
gonna ask one question for you. Was that on WrestleMania?
I mean, it was on SmackDown.
Oh.
I had to watch. I had to watch that at 5:00 in the afternoon. I remember that shit.
I'm just trying to ask.
All right, my dark horse. I have two picks. I have one. It's either LA Knight, or this is probably a shot in the left field because to see if he'll even make the match. Karrion Kross.
Okay. See, I didn't even think of Karrion Kross, but matter of fact, he might be the perfect guy to go with, because if there's anybody that has gotten over without being on television, it's been him.
Yeah.
From that shoot promo he cut to I think
that shoot promo was great. I love the way he went about that.
That was perfect. I think like he has a doc. I saw on social media. Apparently, he has a documentary on YouTube. That apparently
it's about that weekend of WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's about that entire weekend.
I want to watch that match, that Bloodsport match. I still need to watch that.
There's that. There's also the fact that he does. If you pay attention to Karrion Kross, like when he's interacting with some of these superstars, he does like very little things that people notice. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed. You notice that with every superstar that he talks to in the backstage segment, his hair is always
I saw that. When
like
he talks to
when he talks to
Sammy, he
AJ,
has
his
a
hair is down.
ponytail. When he talks to
Yeah.
AJ, he has the hair down.
Down. like little things like that that people don't think about. Like he would actually be huge.
What I don't like though is that they've been using him week to week, but I don't know. Maybe it's my Netflix or whatever, but I don't see his. You know how they've been doing the segments with I think it's Jackie Redmond or whoever the other chicken, but they'll be like up on like not like the top floor, but they'll like just talk to him. And I feel like it's not always on the Netflix episode. I'll see it like online.
Yeah. I've been seeing that
Kind of
too.
like a cutaway type thing, and I'm like,
now
I didn't see this during the episode, and I'm like,
yeah, I think they do that. I think the reason why it's like that is because I think you can only see them segments when you're actually watching it like live. Because sometimes when you go back and you watch it, you know how Netflix does, which I love the fact that they do it. When you go back and you watch it and you're like 30 minutes behind, and then they go to commercial and then they immediately come back, and then there's no ads. So I think because of that, that's why you don't see those segments.
But yeah, I mean, Karrion Kross has been one that like every week he has little subtle things. This week though, which I thought was really funny, was him basically. You know how they've been talking about his merch sales and how he's been like number one, even though he hasn't been on TV.
Yeah.
He was talking to the New Day, and he was literally giving him his shirt.
Yeah.
This is my size or whatever. Like,
and it's funny because one of the people that he spoke to a long time ago was Xavier Woods.
Exactly.
Now it's all kind of coming full circle with all these people.
And it's crazy because I love how they've done these little intricate stories with him. Like he was the one who called the stuff with Roman, Sammy, AJ, everyone. Like
so basically, he's just basically telling the WWE writers' room secrets on there. That's what he's doing. Follow Karrion Kross, people.
Whoever I interact with has to turn heel.
Basically,
should happen, and he's been right.
And he has talked to Sami Zayn, so maybe that's where that's happening.
Yeah, that is true.
Dark horse to win it. I guess a dark horse wouldn't be the overall favorite, right? Because I'm going to probably pick Seth Rollins to win. But
I don't want Seth to win.
I don't even want Seth
in the bank.
It makes sense, and I understand why you're saying. I just don't want him to win.
Yeah, I don't even want him to be in it. Like
exactly.
Yeah. Like, bro,
but he's going to
put Braun. You're going to put Braun in it.
As a matter of fact, they should do that.
As a participant, yeah.
As a participant, no. Matter of fact, he probably is going to be in it. I know for damn sure. Either Penta or Phoenix or both of them are going to be in it. One or the other or both of them are going to be in it.
Damn, who's my dark horse? Would I go Sami Zayn? Should I bet on Sami?
Really? I don't think Sami qualifies for a Money in the Bank match.
Yeah. I will say this much though: they'll piss people off if it's El Grande Americano. Talk about pissing people off. If he wins it.
I would love it to be Chad Gable, but
I would love it too. As Chad Gable,
going.
not that stupid fucking Grande Americano, man.
Yeah, I gotta go with that. And then hold on, let me look up something before I say who
I didn't even think about the women.
I don't need a dark horse for that. I just got Naomi winning. She's
Naomi?
It's funny. You thinking Naomi? I was thinking Jade. But then when you really think about
it, can't give Jade a briefcase.
Yeah. Because now that I think about it, because this feud with Naomi is her first major feud. They might do it in the sense of like, oh, Jade can't accomplish anything until she's done with Naomi, or like she won't. Like every time she tries to aspire to something, Naomi's
going to get involved.
So it's like, okay, I can't do shit.
It's gotta be Naomi to win in that one. There's too much marketing there. She's going to put caution on the briefcase. Just easy marketing. Let's just chalk it up. And she's never won Money in the Bank, right?
So no, I don't think so. No. Something tells me, and I don't want them to have. What did you say?
Charlotte.
No, my God, no.
As a matter of fact, I was gonna say Alexa Bliss. I actually was gonna mention Alexa Bliss. If you want to,
I don't know what that whole segment's about.
Do not bring back her in the Wyatt.
They are.
Six.
They are.
Daniel, they're trending in that direction. They've been trending in that direction for a number of months.
Yes.
When Alexa came back, them graphics in her promo started popping up everywhere. And honestly, you talk about the Y6, they kind of need a huge jolt right now, and that she can give that to them. They've been out.
Twisted Bliss. Just give me Twisted Bliss. That's all I want. Just go back to the regular Alexa Bliss.
If we had to pick up dark horses for the women, I kind of don't want them to do it, but whatever would be Roxanne Perez, honestly. But I don't want her to fall in the same Tiffany Stratton type situation.
Yes,
that's my only gripe.
I don't think they can do her.
Yeah, see, initially, I was gonna go Zelina Vega like weeks ago, but then when they had her win the Women's United States title, I was like,
Chelsea Green. Chelsea, yo, that would be perfect. That would be perfect.
It was having
the security guard in the briefcase and stuff.
It was only last year she took that crazy bump at the match.
Hey, they took the title off of her for a reason.
Damn.
I think Chelsea Green would.
Yo, bro, she's the perfect character to be a women's champion. Now I think about it.
Yeah, she is.
The perfect character for it, and she already got the muscle.
She has the build. She has the character. She has the faction behind her.
Yes. Actually, yo,
she could be so dominant. She could literally pull off Seth Rollins with Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury.
Look, man, I stopped looking at Chelsea Green a certain way once I saw those matches with Penta on Lucha Underground.
First of all, and then if she's gonna do this, if they're gonna do this, let her wrestle.
Yeah. See, I don't think they will, because she's such a good heel character.
Yeah.
Pulls that off so well that I don't think they'll ever let her wrestle like that ever.
Maybe when she's a babyface. Whenever she turns babyface, they're probably going to do that. But nah, she should definitely win. I saw her interview with Chris Van Vliet.
I did too. Yeah, it was good.
So that was pretty cool to see her talk about that stuff. But yep, it's either Naomi or Chelsea Green. Those are my two that I'm going with, because it's like it just makes perfect sense. But shit, that's our dark horses for Money in the Bank. Ronnie and the Dirt Sheets episode 2 coming out soon, I'm assuming. So we'll be getting that out there as well.
Will be recorded this coming Tuesday.
Nice.
Sweet. So we'll get that out the way. We'll be coming up with episode 105 as we pick up right before Saturday night's main event. And we'll be back next week. Remember, always kick it on 2. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining us. And until next time.
1, 2, 3.